Hello there! So today we're going to do another Pilates workout. This one is going to be a wee bit longer and potentially a little more intense. No particular props required, probably just a good idea to have either a little cushion or a towel to provide a bit of support for your neck and your head. Alright, let's get started. So we're going to start lying down onto our backs, finding a nice even position with your spine. We want to see if we can encourage those last two ribs to drop down to the floor and just keep a nice bit of weight on your tailbone. So just going to bring your hands to your belly and take a few nice deep diaphragmatic breaths here. On the inhale, we're going to think of allowing the diaphragm to glide down. And as we do that, we get a little gentle release through your pelvic floor. And then as we exhale, pelvic floor will automatically just engage slightly as your diaphragm rises back up. So just take a few more breaths there in your own time, finding that nice sense of that breath just flowing in and out without too much effort. Next few breaths, just see if you can focus your breath a little more into the back of your rib cage. So we're really going to allow those last two ribs just to drop and ease down towards the floor. Alright, relaxing our hands down beside us, we're going to come and do a little rock and clock, a very ubiquitous Pilates exercise. So starting from what we call your neutral position, which is a relative position, there is no such thing as a true neutral spine, but aiming to honour those natural curves in your spine. So just to find a little bit of a measure, if you make a wee triangle shape with your hands, place the heels of your hands onto your hip bones and fingertips on your pubic bone, you're aiming to make that shape as balanced and flat as we're able to here. And then we'll just let that go. So we're going to take a breath in to prepare as we breathe out. Really go for a little tuck of your tail, flattening the lower spine into the floor. And then as we breathe in, we find a little tilt forwards. So we're just going to move between these two positions, just going as far as you can without letting the rest of your spine move. So it's a really small, isolated movement. Finding that nice sense of drawing up as we come back, and then just having a little bit of a release and let go as we come back down. And then just come to rest in between those 2 points. So now we're going to imagine that you've got a little seesaw or a little ruler going across your two hip bones, and we're going to start to go for a little tip from side to side. A lot of people use a clock face image when they're teaching this exercise, so we're rolling between the 3 o'clock and the 9 o'clock. The previous one was your 6 o'clock and 12 o'clock. I'm always a little bit special with numbers, admittedly, so just find something that works for you. A marble rolling inside a bowl, perhaps. And then pausing in the centre, I'm going to come and find a nice little circle of your pelvis. So exhale to roll back to your belly button and around to your tailbone. Inhale and then exhale to come all the way back up. So we're just going to do 2 of these in each direction. Another nice image is of a marshmallow being swirled around in a hot chocolate, or if you're somewhere like me that's very warm today, maybe an ice cube and a cool beverage. That one from the wonderful Tanya at Hearts and Bones. If you haven't checked out her YouTube channel, I highly recommend you do. Still seeing how still we can keep your thigh bones. So we're seeing if we can isolate your pelvis, just going for that little swivel around those ball joints of your So now we're going to hover your feet just off the floor, and we're going to do those circles once more. So we're just adding a little bit of extra weight by having that longer lever of your legs. So your legs are going to move a little bit, but we still want to see it as much as possible. We can make that movement about your pelvis. So your thigh bones are just going to move slightly as a result of those circles that you're making with your pelvis. Toes all the way up towards the ceiling. Just have them at 90 degrees, no closer. So we're going to keep your nice neutral pelvis, and then we're just going to repeat here. So once again, with that longer lever, again things start to get a little more challenging, coming into a bit of a variation of our corkscrew. See how precise that circle can be that you are drawing on the floor underneath you. If we had a little pencil attached to your pelvis, you're going to be drawing around that same circle each time, rather than having like a dirty coaster with lots of those different ring prints. Alrighty, just have a little hug of your knees, just go for a quick little rock and roll from side to side. And then we're going to bring your knees just over your hips. Actually, let's bring those feet down to the floor. This time, pelvis stays still. And we're just going to go for a little shift of your legs from side to side. So your inner knee is going to get a little shorter, your inner thigh bone. And we're thinking about steering this movement from your obliques. So from those side abdominal muscles that help us to rotate and side bend. We're going to keep doing this movement, bringing those feet off the floor. Again, just adding a little bit of extra weight. Like a little pair of windscreen wipers. See if you can keep that same heavy tailbone rounded to the floor. The more you relax your legs, the more of a challenge this will be for your deep abdominal muscles. And then once again we will lengthen your legs up, and we will do that same little side to side tip here. So as we get longer and heavier with your legs, the movement will probably need to get smaller in order to keep your pelvis still. Alright, keeping those legs long. Once more, we're now just going to see if we can trace some of those little circles with your toes. If you have slightly tighter hamstrings, you can bend your knees as much as you need to be able to make those circles without shifting your pelvis. Let's just go one more each way. Alrighty, planting those feet on the floor. Hands going to interlace behind the back of your head, and then from here finding a basic abdominal curl. We inhale to prepare, and then exhale, coming up. Head is going to stay heady in your hands with this movement. And we want your elbows to be just in your periphery. That just helps to keep your shoulders nice and calm, and your neck nice and calm. We're going to hold on that last one. Hover those feet once again, and just find a little lift of your tailbone slightly off the floor. Seeing two ends together. Finding that nice sense of holding as we go up. Feet come down to the floor, finding an oblique twist, opposite armpit to opposite thigh bone. And as we come up and across, have a check that your pelvis is staying still. So we're really rolling on your rib cage. Shoulders will stay quite still as well. Rest at the bottom, hands can stay where they are. Feet can hover. Then a lower, like you're dipping your toes into a little pool. And then from that point, we're going to think of drawing some little smiley faces with your tailbone. So your thigh bones will make that little swoop across. And you will be rolling slightly onto one hip. Not so far that you feel like you're going to fall over. If you feel like you're going to fall over, you've gone too far. And then we're going to add that oblique twist to that movement. So we're going still towards your opposite side. We're going to do one more set. Option here to advance is to add a little can-can. So as we come across, you can add a little stretch. Just adding a little bit more weight to that movement. And maybe a little coordination challenge. Have a little stretch out, lengthen your legs away from you. Reach those arms overhead and just make like a Russian gymnast for a moment, so you can let your ribs pop. You can let your belly breathe up to the ceiling. And then on your exhale, just let that all go. Alright, feet standing back on the floor, we're going to sneak your cushion away to do a little bit of bridging. So palms are going to face down, or you can turn them to face up if that helps you to feel more open in your shoulders. Your choice. Breathing in here as we breathe out, we hinge up, hinge down. So you're going to push your heels into the floor to start to find that little boost from under your sit bones. Your toes are going directly forward here. We're going to do this twice more. And then we will hold at the top. Transferring the weight to one foot, leaving one leg to tabletop, and then stand on that foot. Exhale up, inhale down. Challenge here can be to keep your pelvis from rocking from side to side. You may find that easier to keep it still on one side than you do on the other. You can bring your arms to a little hugger tree if you'd like a little more of a balance challenge. We're going to bring your first leg up and pause, and then from there we go straight down, straight up. Little single leg neutral bridge here. Using your exhalation to lift you. We'll do 3 more. On our last one, extend that leg, turn it out from your hip and have a little lower. Down and up. Flexing and pointing that foot. Alright, replace that one. Other one, yes, that was my knee. Turning it out, and we lower, and we lift. Oh no, sorry, we lower, and we lift. My bad. Must be even. 4 more. Keep finding that push of that heel. Hold up there. Leg straightens. Turn it out. And we lower. And we lift. If potentially you've got a little bit cranky on that first side, this is your chance to give that leg a little bit of a stretch. Stand that foot on the floor. From here, you're going to bring your arms up and overhead and then roll down through your spine. Lower those hands to the floor. Let's do that again. Tail tucks under. Exhale to roll up. Inhale, up and back. Roll down through your spine. And then bring those hands down. Peeling up. Reaching up and back. Releasing down. And then lowering your arms. Tail tucks under. Up and back with your arms. Heavy tail to roll. And then release. Please forget my phone, I forgot to put it on silent. Rolling up. Arms up and back. Releasing down. Okay, let's come onto our side. So we're going to come and do a little side hip series here. I might just have to negotiate my way around so that I can still be in shot. Oh, I am reaching for my pillow. So I'm going to pop that between my ear and my shoulder. If you find it more comfortable, another option is you can either double up with another one or just do a little sneaky fold in half and go there. So choose whichever is feeling best for you. We're going to stretch your feet all the way out there, my toes, to the front of your mat today. So we want to be a little bit like a capital L in this position. Hand is going to press down onto the floor and we're going to reach that foot up in line with our hip. So from here we're going to go for a lift and a lower. Pelvis once more will stay still. As you bring that foot down, it's just going to hover at that hip height. We have 2 more of these. And then we're going to turn your toes in. Little pigeon toe position here. Keep thinking about having a wee bit of a mouse hole under your waist. Alrighty, so this time we're going to turn that leg out and we tap that heel down and bring it up. It will be quite a small turn out. Think about your spine lining up with the wall behind you, still leaving that little space for your lumbar spine, your lower back. And then from here we go toes and up and heels and up and toes and up and heel and up. Twice more. Last set. Oh, well done. Alrighty, stretch your legs away from me. I'm just going to sneak a little further down so you can see my feet. You might not be able to see my face. We're going to have those legs in a little parallel. Find that mouse hole once again. Go, see my belly button, and then we go for a little hover and a little lower. So imagine you've got someone pulling on your toenails here to create that lower and lift. As you come up, think about your sit bones having a little press forward to your thigh bones. So those glutes are active. We're going to hold up there and go for a little turn out and turn in. A little zip up of those inner thighs, drawing them together. 4 more. Alrighty, holding that turned out position, we slide your top leg up to a little rotire and down again. Drawing a little invisible line up your calf. Your knee will probably be slightly forward rather than going straight up to the ceiling. More important to keep those hips square on. On our last one, we'll hold that the turn out of the bottom leg and we turn that in and we turn that out. Really think of pressing your hand into the floor, particularly that pinky side of your hand, so we can stay nice and active through the back of the shoulder. Underneath sit bone draws to your midline. Alrighty, slide that leg back down, bend your knees in. So if you've been using a cushion, you can just scooch that away. We're just going to come and do a nice little arm clam to get a bit of a stretch here. So keep your eye on that top elbow, and then we inhale to open, and then exhale to close. Widen through the backs of those ribs. But the further forward you keep it, the deeper the stretch is going to be through that side. All right, let's come and do that much on the other side. Quick adjustment of wardrobe. So once again, we're going to find your legs in that nice capital L shape. That looks quite funny on camera. So bringing that foot up, and then we lift and we lower. Finding that lovely hinge from the outer hip. Turning your toes in, 8 more. And a little check in with that hand. And we turn out. Carry on. This one is quite a burner. Twice more. And then we go toes and heels. Twice more. Bye bye. Alrighty. Lengthen away. From here we have that little hopper and lower. Stretching out and away. So the important thing with this one is really finding that length of your legs. I'm going to come a little bit further out so you can see my feet. You won't be able to see my face. Sorry. Twice more. Hold them up there. And we turn out. And we turn in. Drawing the inner thighs forward. Spiraling here. Two more of those ones, and then hold that turn out. We draw that leg up and we slide down. Make sure you're sustaining that turn out of your underneath leg as well. So we're strengthening those muscles in your outer hip that are really important for your alignment when you're walking. We're doing that twice more. And then we will hold that leg up there, and we turn in, and we turn out. Check that that side waist is lifting away from the floor. And then lift that whole thing a little higher and relaxing the legs all the way down. Alrighty. Scooching face back into shot. Arm clam. We're going to inhale to find that nice opening, and then exhale to wrap it in close. Think of your head being heavy in your hands rather than your hands pulling on your neck. So it's going to be a little kind of two-way pull-push between your head and your hands. All right, so fixing here. I'm just going to do a little bit of a reset. So we're going to come and do a little prone series lying on your tummy. I would recommend that you keep your face down to the floor and just listen. However, I am going to turn my head just so you can hear me. One day I'll get a fancy microphone, we'll build up to that. Alrighty, so for now, we will be, need to set my top half first. Head is going to rest down, forehead on your cushion. And we're going to have your fingertips reaching long and away from you. So I want you to really let your shoulders round forward and drop down to the floor. You will not often be asked to do this in a Pilates class, so enjoy it while it lasts. Have a little lift of your belly and drop of your tail, and then we're going to draw your kneecaps up so your legs are active. So from here, keeping those shoulders slumping forward, we inhale, exhale, lift your arms as high as they can go, and then just lower off slightly. So what we're doing here is we are isolating the backs of your arms, your triceps. So we're going to keep that nice little lift and hover going. Even though your shoulders are forward, we want them still to be away from your ears. You can add arm weights to this if you wish. However, if you really relax your arms, it should get quite a good burn going in there. We're going to hold them up and go for a little tiny press away. As high as you can go, really letting those shoulders round. And then we go for a little squeeze of your thumbs into your center line. See if you can keep your shoulder blades wide. Be easy with your shoulders forward, theoretically. And then we have a little circle up and away. And we reverse those circles. Alright, relax yourselves down for a moment. The cushion just helps to feel like you're not face planting the floor, which is not a good thing. So from here, we are going to come up into a little dart. So reach your fingertips and your head in opposite directions. And then relaxing all the way down. Wide shoulders this time, peeling up, lengthening away. Let your heart be the thing that pulls you forwards. So we're encouraging a little more movement in your thoracic spine. On our next one, we will come up and we will stay, and we're going to repeat that arm series. So we go for that little pulse up from the backs of those arms. Keep lifting that belly and reaching forward with your heart. From here, we have a little squeeze of those elbows. Tempting here to let your chin lift. See if the crown of your head can lean forward like you're head-butting something. And then we have that little circle up and around. And reverse. Lift a little higher. Bring your hands by your shoulders. And then we'll just have a little sneak of your knees in and have a wee rest down in your child's pose. Let's actually bring your palms together. Place that shape over your head, or you can open your hands and give yourselves a little pat on the back. If you push down with your elbows and then pull back with your shoulders, it just creates a little kind of two-way traction here. Sorry, I try not to talk to the floor. You need to hear me. And then reaching those arms forward and just coming up for a moment. So I'm going to come a little bit further away so that you'll be able to see my legs. We're going to do a little bit of prone hip work in that same position. So again, I'd recommend that you either have your head on your cushion as we just did before, you can make a little stick 'em up with your hands, exhibit A. Or if you prefer, no cushion, make a pillow with your hands and be there. So maybe we angle, there we go. Alrighty, so we're going to find that nice lift of your belly. Lengthen your toes away, and then we're just going to hover one leg off the floor and lower. Pelvis stay still, hover other leg off the floor and lower. And then lengthening away from your toes, come and hover both legs. So we're going to let your legs move a little further away from you and then draw in towards each other without changing your lower spine. So it's a little bit like a very small star jump. Imagine that you're moving your legs through water. So we really want to find that sense of resistance, particularly on the way in. So we have a little wrap of those inner thigh muscles. And then we're going to bring those legs wider, bring your heels together and have a little lift and lower. Make sure it's not your lower back boosting here. A little squeeze of your heels can help, and you can do this with flexed feet too. Awesome. On our next one, we're going to hold that there, keeping that little squeeze of those heels, and draw them in towards your hips, and then stretch out. Little fold in, and then lengthen away. Moving with resistance here. Keep that lift of your belly away from the floor. We fold in and push out. 3 more. Twice more. And then last one. Zap your legs together, come and have another wee moment in your child's pose. So you can this time just do what you wish with your arms. You can repeat that stretch, you can reach them forward, you can reach them back. And just take a couple of nice deep breaths into your back body. Really widening across your entire surface of your back. Lengthening your spine and walking tail. And then we're going to come up and find a 4-point needle. Hands slightly forward of your shoulders, knees directly underneath your hips. And we want to be able to hold your coffee cup on your lower back. So we're just going to start with a nice little opposite arm leg action here. If you want to really test that nice balance of your spine, you can put something on your lower back. Maybe not a cup of coffee, but if you have a little ball or something close by that you can put on there just to have a little check of where things are at, why not? We're going to do that once more on each side, and then move to a little bit of a brain teaser. So we need to have quite a strong shift over to one side to do same arm, same leg. You'll need to take your ball away with this one. And yes, this is very counterintuitive, but it's quite good for your brain. You may find that one side works fine, the other side is just not working at all. That's okay. Last one. Alright, just come back and have a little rest step for a moment. I might need to just come a little bit closer. Oh, actually, what I'll do is this. Aha. Move rope. There we go. So from here we're going to start to find a little thread the needle. So your opposite hand, we're going to turn your fingertips in, and then we're going to come into a nice reach up to the sky and just have a little thread under, and then push through that hand and thread. So we're going to keep this moving today. See if you can keep your hips still rather than letting them swerve around with your ribcage. Upper body is going to keep doing the same thing, but we're going to extend your opposite leg behind you. And then that leg is going to lift off the floor, and it will just have a little counterweight. reaching through. Sit bones draw into your midline. Alrighty, let's go straight to the other side. Palm turns in, and we reach up, and we dive through. Have a little check that your shoulders are widening so they're moving away from your ears. Opposite leg reaches, and we dive through. Not unusual to find that you have more room, more twist in your spine on one side. And then we're going to hover that leg and add lift and lower. Bringing that foot down and just come back and have a little rest in that child's pose once again. Alright, rolling up through your spine. We're going to come and find a little mer person stance. Stacking your knees. Hand is going to be slightly forward of your hip. Other hand can either be on your waist, or you can come up into like a little, that one side bendy position. And then from there we have a little bend to that elbow and press away. So I want you to think of making a curve with your body rather than going straight down. So it's up and over. We're going to bring a nice side bend through your waist, and also just adding a bit of body weight into your triceps, the backs of your arms. So let's do that 4 more times. I'm going to hold this next one here and just hover up slightly and then push down further. Working within the last bit of that range. Twice more. And then let's lower that elbow all the way down to the ground. Your choice, you can either keep your legs stacked or you can straighten them away from you. You can stagger your feet, I'm just going to show you with them in that position, or have them one on top of the other. Back here. And we find a little side plank. And then from there we go for a little thread the needle and lift. Lifting up and out of that underneath arm. Three more. Lift a little bit further and then lower those hips. And we'll swing round to the other side. How's the hair? Probably a mess, as often the case with Pilates. Alrighty, so we're going to bring that arm up and over as we come down, or you can leave it on your waist. So it's a little combination of our mermaid and a bit of a tricep press up here. Three more. Spreading your knuckles into the floor. Hold there, and then we're just going halfway. Keeping that nice big webbed paw on the floor. Webbed foot, I should say. Paws aren't webbed. 2 more times. And then coming all the way down, find your side plank. Lifting up and out of your waist, and we thread and we lift. Or wobbly hips. Twice more. Alrighty, lowering all the way down. We're going to sweep around and bring your toes to tuck under. into a nice little toe stretch here. Bring your little toes away just in case you've got the toes that do a sneaky little squish underneath you. I'm going to come into a little sequence moving from the floor to standing. So you might lose my head, but you'll be able to see my legs, and that's the important thing. One day when I get my lights and the microphone, we may also have a tripod. We'll see. Alrighty, so for now, we're going to go for a little press through to a kneel, and then tap back under. We're going to alternate sides as we do this. So sit bone on your supporting side. We'll have a little draw into your center line. Very functional exercise. Getting from the floor to standing. We'll do that once more on each side. We want to go straight forward rather than around the corner. That was a bad one, FYI. Alrighty, adding on. This time we come through and stand, down, and sit. Push into your heel to bring you up, and we want to see if we can keep your knee over your ankle. We're going to do that 4 more times. Can be a wee balance challenge. Alright, la pièce de la résistance. So we're going to think of this as a 6 count phrase. I'm going to demonstrate and then I'll talk you through it. So we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Forward, up, turn, down, back, sit. Join me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Keeping everything level in your center. 1 more round on each side. Last one. Ooh, little wobble. Alright, have a little rest back in your child's pose once again. You can either let your knees go wide or keep them further together. Take a few nice deep breaths into your backs. And then just coming forward onto your tummy once again, we're just going to bring those hands by your shoulders and just have a little press. Let those elbows come back beside you, reaching your heart forward as you come up into that little extension, and then lowering all the way back down. Let's do a couple more of those, keeping your shoulders wide, lengthening yourselves up through your spines. Moving as far as feels good for your spine today. And then from here, we will come in, so we're in a little squat position. Let those heels drop down towards the floor. One day mine might get there, yours may be there already, if so, congratulations. Just have a little hang out here for a moment. And then from there we're going to let your heels drop and just have a little hang forward. Give your shoulders a little bit of a shake and tassel out there. Head can have a little bit of a shake and nod. And then we will tuck that tailbone under, scoop your belly, and then slowly roll yourselves all the way up to standing. And inhale at the top, exhale, heart melts forward. Let your rib cage bring your shoulders bring your head. Breathing in at the bottom. Inhale here, exhale, tail tucks under, connect those heels to the floor, and then peeling all the way up, restacking your spine. Let's do one more for luck, rolling all the way down. See if you can find a little bit more length, a little bit more space through your joints each time. Tail tucks under, scoop your belly, and then lengthening all the way. Back up, have a little roll out of your shoulders. And that, my friends, is pretty much it for today. I hope you have enjoyed this workout. If you have, please do click like and subscribe, leave a friendly comment. I have deliberately not used any music in this video. I have run into issues with YouTube and copyright with music before. However, if you do like to work out to music, I would heartily encourage you to choose some music that inspires you. Or if you would like, do follow me on Spotify. I have heaps of playlists that I love to use when I'm teaching, and that just kind of create a nice bit of atmosphere for your movement. Alrighty, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one.